So this is Ruth from Kingaroy, and she's just finished. What passage did you just read?
Well, I
Ruth?
was just listening to the person before me reading on it. I really wanted to read it, but they got to read it before me. But it's the passage in Joshua, the first 3 chapters, where Joshua takes the people into the Promised Land. And the significant part for me was where Joshua crossed the Jordan River. And as we were coming up to read that, I just had a vision of, or a spiritual, I guess, sense of our city of Brisbane here, and that we don't have a river separating us from one side of, block of land, but we have a spiritual barrier that's around the city. There's a sense of spiritual waters that can be a barrier to the city being taken for the Lord. And I just really felt that as we read that passage of Joshua where God divided the waters and the people crossed on dry land, and they went in and they took that land, that this was something that we should see as being read out for Brisbane, that God can part the spiritual barriers that surround Brisbane or any city really, and we can go in as believers and pray for that city and minister in that city and take that city, claim that city for Jesus Christ. And I thought of the priest standing on that dry land as the people crossed over. The priest stayed on the dry riverbed until everyone was across, and we stand in the midst of that spiritual barrier. There was a river on either side, and that would have been pretty terrifying, I would have thought. The river's on either side, the waters are being held back, but they stood there on that dry land as the people went in to claim the land. And we are people of prayer that stand in the midst of the turmoil around us. God has created that dry place that we would stand and pray, and others will go in and work to take that city and claim that city. So I just see it as relevant today for our cities, our towns, wherever they are, that we can view it in that way. Yeah, so that's what I...
That's amazing insight, Ruth. Now, what would you say? We've still got a few spots that we need to have filled. What would you say to people? Should they come down and read the Word of God?
Oh, look, it's great. I mean, we've come from Kingaroy, and which is about 3 hours north of Brisbane. But just to know that God's word's being spoken in a place, and I also think praying around that word as it goes out. So yeah, please come and be involved and read your 15 minutes and. It's not hard. And if you've got a funny word to say or a name, it doesn't matter, because most people don't know how to pronounce those words anyway, so no one will know whether you've said it right or wrong. But yeah, so I really hope people will come down and get involved and make the marathon, be able to have it all go out into this city, yeah.
Amen. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.